While the sports star Oscar Pistorius' trial remains fresh in the minds of citizens, the recent acquittal of Sriyan Devani for the murder of his honeymoon wife in Cape Town raised questions about sections of the country's legal system. In Devani's case, the state paid for the UK national to be flown back to South Africa to stand trial. This while many South Africans languish in jail, unable to afford proper legal representation.
I think South Africa has shown a number of very high-profile examples in recent years of how if you are able to buy access to the best legal representation in the country, you get a far better deal out of the justice system than if you are a poor South African who happens to be charged with a crime.
In fact, most people don't have access to the courts or to representation because they cannot afford it.
Well, your problem isn't just the absence of the cash. It's also an absence of the skills that are available to the South African economy. Law firms in South Africa, the big commercial ones, complain to us about the difficulty they have in sourcing top quality graduates out of the university system.
But it's not only about the resources. It seems that the legal professionals, specifically those in private sector, need to take some responsibility for middle-class South Africans not being able to afford their services.
And I do think that lawyers have priced themselves out of the market, and that inhibits and obstructs access to justice by most of the population of the country.
On the other hand, there is a real problem with the legal aid system in South Africa. It's been in place since the late 1960s, and times have changed. As legal costs have skyrocketed, so more pressure has been placed on the government.
Services provided by the state, subsidised and free defence and the like, are of an inferior quality. And that is where poor South Africans become victims of the system.
It's impossible for the level of services to be on par with the level of service that private people have. And the reason for that is legal aid. South Africa has limited resources. They use those resources very, very well and very efficiently.
Its government is running out of the money that it needs to implement its policies, and those policies already range from free national health insurance to free higher education for all South Africans. The money to do these things just simply isn't available. And it's not going to be available in the next 2 or 3 years either.
So as the new Legal Aid Act came into being at the beginning of March, it's unlikely that your average South African would have noticed the difference or been able to afford proper legal representation. On the other hand, for those that are qualifying for legal aid, they're probably wondering whether they're going to get the right kind of representation and whether they're going to compete, that is the lawyers, with their higher price competition. I'm Angelo Coppola for CCTV.